Hi.
Hi, I'm Valerie. I'll be assisting you today.
Dominic.
Nice to meet you, Dominic.
Nice to meet you too.
Is there something else you'd prefer to be called?
Dom works.
Dom?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, you can take a seat, Dom. Now, before we get started, there's just a few company policy things that I have to mention. I have to mention about the confidentiality, and that everything you say here is confidential, unless you start talking about intending on hurting yourself or hurting someone else. At that point, I have to report it because I'm a mandated reporter. But other than that, everything's confidential. Are there any other kind of questions or any concerns you have about that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Could I just get you to sign this, letting me know that you agree to the terms of confidentiality, and then we'll begin. Okay, thank you. So I saw in the intake form that you're having some marital issues. Do you want to expound on that for me?
Yeah, my wife and I have just been getting in fights over the past 6 or 7 months probably. And it just starts out as little stuff and it just builds from there.
Right. Okay. So it's been about 6 or 7 months. Have things been getting worse then?
Yeah, it's getting to the point where we can't really stand to be around each other anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That must be difficult. What annoys you most about your wife?
It's just constant nagging. It's her way or the highway. I can't do anything to her liking.
And how does that make you feel?
It's frustrating. I feel like I'm doing something good and it's not the right way.
So you feel disrespected?
Yeah.
That must be hard. So I'm wondering, how long have you and your wife been married?
It'll be 15 years in May.
Oh, that's great news. Have there been any other kind of conflicts up to this point, or like major things, or no?
Nothing major, really.
Well, congratulations. That's a long time to be married without major arguments. But I'm sure there have been some kind of bumps along the road. And I'm just curious, how have you tended to work those problems out before?
Well, usually she likes to have time apart. I like to try to get things fixed right away. I don't like being mad at each other. But, I don't know, she likes taking some time apart.
Right. So you deal with things differently.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there something else going on in your marriage besides like that's affecting the problems with your wife?
Well, my secretary at work's kind of been coming on to me, which is hard to stay away from her with all the things that are going on at home. Just putting added stress on.
I can understand that. And what draws you most to the secretary?
Probably sounds stupid, but she reminds me of how my wife used to be. It's really easy to talk to her, and she's funny and attractive and actually listens to what I have to say. It just reminds me of when we were first married, I guess.
Okay, so I get the impression that you are so drawn to your secretary because it reminds you of a better time with your wife. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. So has there been any kind of physical contact that has occurred between you and the secretary?
Not really, no.
No? You say not really. Does that mean something?
I mean, she, like, whenever I'm in the copier room, for example, making copies, whenever she comes in there, makes sure that she brushes up against me, but nothing major has happened.
So let her know how that makes you feel when she does that?
Not really. No, I haven't stopped it like I should have. It's kind of hard with everything that's going on at home.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I kind of like the attention.
Mm-hmm. But you say that you should have mentioned that to something about that to her?
I feel like I need to just keep her from being let on.
So it sounds like you want to work on things in your marriage and restore your marriage?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you decide to, or what made you decide to come see a social worker about your problems?
I guess I just felt like I didn't know what to do anymore and I needed some outside opinion.
Right. Well, you've come to the right place. I can help you work through that if you would like.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm wondering, do you think that there will come a time when you will want to confront your secretary about the inappropriate things that are going on there?
I don't feel like I want to, but I know that it's something I need to do.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, you've told me about the things that bother you most about your wife and how that makes you feel, and you've told me why you're drawn to your secretary. So if you're really considering talking to your secretary about the things that are going on, I'm wondering if it would be helpful for you if we kind of role-played how that conversation would go, since you seem kind of hesitant, maybe a little bit anxious to talk to her about it.
I think that might help.
Okay, so I will pretend to be the secretary if you want to be yourself.
Okay.
Where do you think they would most likely talk to her about this?
Usually in the break room, probably.
Okay, so we'll just start from there. How's that sound?
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. Hey Daisy, I wanted to talk to you about something. As you know, things at my home haven't been that well. You know, I'm married, but I've been enjoying the attention from you. And it's not anything personal against you, because I do enjoy being around you. It's just, I want my marriage to work. So, I feel like we need to get that out there before things go any further.
Well, I thought you were kind of enjoying the attention, but I guess I can understand wanting to work on things in your marriage, and I'm sorry.
No, it's no problem.
Okay, Tom, well, I think that what you said, it seemed like, she could understand that maybe. And maybe if you say that, it would start helping your relationship. Do you feel like that might help?
I feel like it would. I feel like I need to get that out of the way before I worry about other things.
Okay, so does talking to your secretary sound like something you could do by maybe next week?
Yeah, I think I could do that.
Okay, that sounds great. Are there any other kind of long-term or short-term goals that you want to work on, maybe for next week?
I definitely want to get things fixed with my wife. I'm not sure if I can really talk to her that quickly about things. I don't know how to approach that situation, whether to tell her about what's been going on at work or whether to just end it. But I'd like to get back to speaking terms with my wife.
Right. So you're really anxious about talking to her. So maybe if you would want, you could come up with some pros and cons regarding talking to your wife about your anger towards her and maybe even your feelings for your secretary, do you think that you would want to tell her about the things with your secretary that have been going on?
I'm not really sure, but I like the idea of a pros and cons list to help me sort of work my way through what I want to do. Been thinking about that for a long time, of what's right and wrong. Haven't
Right.
really been able to come up with a solid answer on that yet.
Right. So it sounds like we have a couple of things in place that you can work on for next week. And you've talked about your wife and how you have kind of this hidden anger bubbling up beneath you with regards to her. And then you also have that kind of hidden, intimate work relationship going on that she doesn't know about. And it kind of makes your marriage strained and complicated. And we mentioned those goals that you can work on for next time. So is there anything else you want to talk about this session, or you just want to,
I'd
does that
sort
sound
of
good?
like to see how it goes with the secretary and go from there.
Okay. So what we talked about sounds good though for next week?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, our time's up. So it was nice to meet you, Dom.
Nice to meet you too.
And have a great week.
You too.
Thanks.